I'm Clive Bull. It is the Property Hour, and if you've got a question, 0345 6060 973. Kate is here and Linda, and if you've got a question, then call us now. Now, thanks to Direct Line Landlord Insurance, today we're discussing what happens if your tenants stop paying the rent. Fairly important one, this. I'm joined today by Head of Direct Line for Business, Nick Breton. Nick, good evening.
Good evening, Clive.
Thank you very much for coming in. So let's talk about the scenarios that tenants would stop paying rent in.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are quite a few scenarios where this might happen, of course, Clive. It might well be that the tenant is ill and unable to work, or loses their job, or has to go into benefits, and their income is disrupted. The cash flow is upset, and in those circumstances, they may find that they choose to stop paying the rent. They may also be having a bit of a dispute with the landlord. It may be that there's some repairs that need doing, or something's broken. They feel it's not getting the landlord's attention, so they may stop paying rent until they believe that it's being rectified correctly. And sadly, there are also some tenants who play the system, as it were, and who prey on landlords who know how to kind of get the law to work to their advantage and move from property to property without actually managing or needing to pay any rent.
So what kind of problems does this create for landlords?
Well, it can create quite a headache for landlords, of course, because, of course, whilst their asset isn't generating any income, whilst they're not collecting rent on that, then they are effectively operating at a loss, running a loss for that period of time. And if the tenant isn't paying their rent, there's always a risk that they might not be looking after the property. They may have given up caring about having a good relationship with the landlord. And if the tenant is proving to be unresponsive to reminders and chasing about unpaid rent, then there may well be a costly and lengthy eviction process to start.
What kind of protection is available then for landlords in this situation?
Well as protecting the buildings and contents and providing cover for public liability and damage from insured events, landlords may also be able to purchase rent guarantee as an add-on benefit to their insurance policy. Rent guarantee will pay the rent whilst the tenant or ex-tenant is occupying the property, and may even cover rent arrears if the property needs to be repaired following vacant possession. There are often conditions that go with this, so the tenant needs to have a tenancy agreement in place. They need to have been credit and reference checked first of all before moving in, and the deposit needs to be in a deposit protection scheme. Landlords may also use letting agents, some of whom have their own rent guarantee solutions as well. So
what should landlords do then if this suddenly happens and the tenant stops paying? What do you do?
Well, initially they should sit down with the tenant and try and find out what the problem is and see if they can come to some sort of arrangement or resolution for the problem. If this isn't possible or it doesn't work, then the landlord can serve a possession notice or a Section 8 notice if the tenants are in breach of their tenancy agreement, and this can give the landlord the right to give 14 days notice to the tenant. If the tenant still doesn't leave, then the landlord can apply to the court for a possession order. Could take a couple of months as they need to get a judge to give one. And if all else fails, then they need to turn to the bailiffs. And this is a final step when you get the bailiffs to set an eviction date. If the landlord has got a rent guarantee policy in place as an add-on to their specialist landlord insurance, then the insurer may well appoint their own solicitor or another solicitor to deal with the matter. But in any case, it's always a good idea to let your insurer know as soon as you're aware that there may be a problem, to get advice and guidance on the cover that's available and also what process needs to be followed in making a claim.
And where can landlords go if they need more information about this?
Well, there's a lot of information about the correct eviction process on the website, gov.uk. Landlords can also get in touch with Landlord Action, or they can get information from the NLA, the National Landlords Association. And some insurers have got a rent guarantee proposition anyway, and they can Google that and just compare covers.
Great. Nick, thank you very much indeed for all that information, and thanks to Direct Line Landlord Insurance. And for more information and for the chance to win a tech bundle, go to lbc.co.uk. It's